morning, people. Uh, this is Good Friday. I am off today. Uh, Whenever the Ford people are off, since I work in their building, I'm off also. They get paid for it. I don't. I finished a book, Nero, and apparently this really weird picture is a copy of some graffiti that somebody drew a picture of Nero. I don't know, something like that. Typically, biographies, I'm finding out that I kind of hate biographies, but this is a little bit different. It was a little bit, the guy kind of assumes that you already know a few things. He doesn't waste a whole lot of time with Nero's childhood. He just kind of dives right into it. There's several different chapters. What they all boil down to is like Nero's relationship to mythology and how people treated the idea of Nero after his death. Towards the end of the book, he compares Nero to Alexander the Great, and you would instantly think, wow, fuck, I can't think of two more different people. But what he's talking about there is after they died. How many statues of them went up after they died, and how many people came around claiming to be Alexander the Great, and how many people came around claiming to be Nero, sometimes hundreds of years later. And there was always a group of people that believed them. I'm going to get right into the notes. This was only 237 pages, but sections of it were kind of excruciating, and it took me 2 weeks to read this thing. It was published in 2003, and then I have written here, biographies usually suck. And what's odd is in my ever-shrinking pile of shit books, I have two more biographies of Roman emperors. I have Claudius, and I have Septimus Severus. And I just started Claudius, so I don't know. Maybe I'll finish Claudius. So far, it doesn't seem to be too bad. I've read 16 pages last night. He talks about sources an awful lot, which is good. The last couple of years, I've read some of these, the Roman, and they weren't all Roman, but some of the authors of antiquity. And I have written here, how do we know about Nero? Well, we know about Nero because of what Tacitus wrote, because of what Suetonius wrote, and because of what Cassius Dio wrote. And Cassius Dio seems to be kind of an odd, because what he wrote doesn't survive, if I'm understanding this correctly, but what some later Byzantine scholars, what they took and copied of what Cassius Dio wrote. They're called epitomes for some reason. I don't know. I'm going to have to find out about that. And then how did these three know? A lot of it came from what Pliny the Elder wrote. And apparently that doesn't survive. But they were able to read it. And I don't know, Pliny the Elder seems like kind of a cool guy. There's some real good accounts of Pliny the Elder's death. And I've read it several times. I think his son was there, and he wrote about how his father died. Big long chapter concerning Nero's lyre playing. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. But Nero didn't fiddle, he played the lyre. And my next note is rebuilding after the fire. But there's a big chapter on the fire and what he does after that. And he doesn't really seem insane. He rebuilds the city, and he supplies people with corn, and he does what any good emperor or governor would do, uh, except that he builds the Golden House, and the three writers that wrote about him, they all write little different things about him, like depending on how they feel about him. And the Golden House in legend, supposedly takes up all of Rome, surrounds Rome, but really it didn't. They're just trying to, the more they figure out what the names of some of these rooms meant in the Golden House, it obviously was a big house, but it didn't take up half of Rome. Let me go through the rest of these notes, and then I'll try to remember. I have one thing to read. Second paragraph, 183. I'll try to remember his famous atrocities. I have the second paragraph. I don't know why I even marked this. Not only did the emperor cause the destruction of his capital, he gloried in it. Or, as a 17th century, that's why I did it, as a 17th century accretion to the legend so memorably phrased it, Nero fiddled while Rome burned. Again, the accounts of what he actually did vary remarkably, as we have seen. So, I marked that paragraph because nobody ever said anything about Nero fiddling while Rome burned until the 1600s. So, that was something that was invented. Now, Nero killed his stepbrother. Everybody kind of agrees that, yes, he did that. Nero caused his mother to be murdered. Everybody kind of agrees that he did that. Nero slept with his mother before he had her killed, not while she was dead. There's a little bit of disagreement about that and about who initiated the sexual escapades between him and his mother. Nero soaked dead Christians, I'm assuming that they were dead before he started, soaked them in oil, impaled them, and lit them on fire to light up the night. Apparently he did do that. Nero blamed the fire in Rome on the Christians and persecuted them pretty well. And let's get one thing straight too. The author here doesn't come to the conclusion that Nero started the fire. He comes to the conclusion that Nero, after the fire went out, it restarted. That Nero did that. What else did he do that was really weird? He castrated a male slave. I'm going out of line here. He kicked his pregnant wife to death. He probably did that, but he didn't mean to. And after that, because he really was in love with his wife, after that he found a male slave that kind of resembled his wife. So he had this guy castrated, and he married him, and he went around Greece and Rome with this guy. They had a regular wedding where people actually prayed for children. He would fondly kiss him. That was kind of bizarre. He actually married another male slave, too, and then he married a concubine. The other bizarre thing that he did, when I get these books, I look for, what I'm really after is, what did this guy do? Did he expand the boundaries of Rome, or did he stop like Hadrian and try to just defend the boundaries? Nero didn't really have anything to do with the military side. He kind of ignored the army to his own peril. At the end, the army did not stick up for him. But he had a triumph. where they brought this king, this guy that they were going to bestow the kingdom of Armenia on, and it was just this huge, elaborate triumph. And apparently one of the weird things they did when there was a triumph is they would knock a hole in the city walls, and Nero would enter through this hole through a breach in the wall. But he didn't deserve a triumph. He never did anything military at all. Kind of a bizarre guy. Again, the most famous thing, Nero fiddling while Rome burned. He didn't know how to fiddle. He played the lyre, whatever the hell the lyre was. And he probably didn't do that while Rome was burning. He wasn't even there when it started, but he did rush back. And he did everything right after that. That's it. I'm off today. I'm going to the fucking bookstore. Actually, I'm going to make this a bookstore weekend. I'm going to the little bookstore, and then I'll save King Book for tomorrow, for Saturday. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend, people.